Coach, obviously you got getting Jalen back at least to be available to play. What's your thoughts on that, and B, maybe what's the plan with him moving forward? Obviously, you got to get the cardio back and all that stuff, but just your thoughts on both of those fronts.
I mean, you just said it. He's been out for a while. He certainly doesn't have the cardio to, play the kind of minutes that somebody would have to play in the rotation. But he's ready to play. He just doesn't have the conditioning. But we're happy to have him back.
And just to follow up, I've been meaning to ask you this since the games were postponed. Have you gotten any kind of word on when those games will be made up? Will they be made up in this first half of the season, second half of the season? You got any feedback or word on those games?
I've heard nothing in relation to those games that were postponed. I hadn't really thought about it. We've had so many. We've been on the road and, getting ready for the next game, next practice, that kind of thing. But nobody's alerted me when those games could take place. So I suppose that's the reason why the league left the second half open, so they could fit those games in there.
All right, next up we have Brendan Clean with Forbes. He'll be followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, Coach, this is a little bit out of left field, but there was an interview that went up prior to when all of you guys had the break that you had that I'd been meaning to ask you about, where Tim Duncan said that you were the guy when he was a rookie who was sort of his vet on the team. And I'd never heard that before. So I'm curious what you remember of that and just what that relationship between like rookies and veteran players kind of means to you.
I mean, Tim and I had a unique relationship in that I was older than him, but I actually understood right away that he was special and he had not only a gift to play basketball, but he was an unreal human being and he had an unreal work ethic. And so we spent a lot of time just working out and talking and spending time at my house and his house. And I didn't realize that he was watching me as much as he was. And I didn't even think about the vet rookie thing because I was older but young in the league. We came into the league a lot later. So I was just blessed that I had good vets that taught me, and I just tried to relay that information to him. But he's, one of my best friends in the world. And it's interesting, like he doesn't know it, but I look up to him. I watch the way he's handled himself. He's always been the standard for me as it relates to, being a teammate, good basketball player, and just a good dude. And we were always able to be honest with each other about everything. And, there's not many decisions that I make in my life where I don't talk to him or Pop. That's just the uniqueness of our relationship. And we don't talk all the time, but when we do talk, we just we pick up like we just talked the day before.
Yeah.
My kids look up to him. My son pretty much patterns his game after Tim, or at least he tries, because I talk about Tim so much, he has no choice. And so I didn't even realize that I was being that for him, because it was just a working relationship. And then we just became friends. And then, like I said, we just spent so much time together. It was just a cool thing.
Appreciate it.
All right, next up we have Gina Mizell with Suns.com. She'll be followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Monty, to go back to Jalen just for a second, he's obviously had such a unique start to his rookie year, his NBA career, with first no summer league, kind of getting pushed right into camp, and then sprains his ankle, then is out because of COVID. Just what have you guys tried to do as a coaching staff or as a team to sort of keep him as up to speed as possible, even given just the very strange circumstances for him personally?
Coach the heck out of him. You know, I want him to feel it every day, because he didn't get summer league. He didn't get a long preseason. He didn't get that downtime after summer league where you think about everything that you have absorbed in Vegas or wherever it could be. And so for me, it's like I'm actually a bit tougher on him, because I know he can be a good player and he didn't get that time. And so there are times in practice where I think he might feel a bit picked on, but I think I owe it to him, because he's missed. It is the worst time to be a rookie in this league. And for me, it's like the talent that he has and the ability he has, you know, we're trying to just throw it all at him so he can get it. And I'm sure if he talked, it's a bit overwhelming. He might not admit it, but I feel like I have to coach him really, not hard or disrespectful, but just reminding him, no, this is what you should call, this is what you should be in. And I just remember my rookie year, that's how Jeff Van Gundy was on me, and Coach Riley for sure. You know, they coached me every day. And I didn't understand it at the time, but it was the best thing for me, because I was playing with a veteran squad, and they could not afford, they didn't want anybody on the floor that was going to be behind or making a ton of mistakes. And so they were all over me every day. And it was overwhelming at times, but it was probably the best thing for me.
All right, next up we have Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Coach, obviously you got a back-to-back against the same team. You've done this before, but obviously at Sacramento. You take any lessons from that and apply it here? And then B, Jokic obviously is a great talent, but he's such a unique talent, being that big and now averaging a triple-double. Is there anyone that you see prior to having that skill set with that size and producing like he has?
Dwayne, you asked 50 questions in one session, so I can't even remember the first thing you asked.
The first one was just about the back-to-back. You guys.
The back-to-back part, like, I just think it's probably something we're going to have to get used to, because I think it helps players. We don't have to travel as much. It probably helps their legs. And so for me, it's like, did we learn anything? I mean, it's akin to a playoff series, and that's what it feels like. So I think it's good for us, you know, a team, an organization that hadn't been there in a while. It's something that we can use for sure to build. And as far as Jokic is concerned, like, I mean, he's so many players that I've seen. I mean, Arvydas Sabonis in his prime is probably the one that just comes to mind. But Sabonis was, you know, the one thing about him, he was athletic. I mean, he could go upstairs and bang on you. Jokic doesn't do, but they remind me so much, the passing. Like, some of the stuff that you see on tape with him, you just rewind it because you're trying to see what he saw before he made the pass, and it forces you to rewind it. Like, you don't see it in real time. You rewind it, you're like, man, how did he see that? And Sabonis was like that. Like, he would make a pass, like he'd just throw a bowling ball pass full court, and you were sitting there like, how did he, do that? You know what I mean? In the same vein, it's Jokic is probably that plus. Vlade was like that. Tim had that passing ability, but probably not like Jokic. I mean, I think he's still leading the league in assist or total assist. It's just amazing. And then his ability to score on the box, score from the nail, shoot threes. He's better in pick and roll defense than people give him credit. And his rebounding is just, he's just an amazing player. But there's a number of players in the league, man, they're just unique. You just look at them and you hate to put them in a category because they belong in their own space.
Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind about asking 10 questions at once.